to add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. Oh, the
dare you!
That shit insane!
Wow.
All of us short people are like, wah!
Oh my god, Marianne!
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4pixels. Your host Kogun Kimir here, and we are joined by guests Buttons and Layfile from Cacophony of Games. We're continuing the letter.
Indeed.
And Marianne's drunk as all heck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Marianne. Don't be a Luke.
Our problematic child.
Take this Lana again.
I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. But that doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I know he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
With no drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home or gone to sleep on the bar right then and there. But I'm not ready to stand up and trying to trek back home just yet.
Same old, same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati.
Thank you.
So,
Oh my
what
god.
have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
Their talk would have interested me, would have kept my attention, if I gave a damn.
No, listen! I want to know!
Right? But in my current state, I can barely give two fucks about things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned, if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy.
Oh, little
And don't
Quampy
pretend like you
Ashton.
don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
Like a cat you just spilled water on.
Blind eyes throwing around his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper. If you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping.
That definitely counts.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking right. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about the guy. What the absolute fuck? Are we sure this isn't just me?
It really is his butt.
Are we absolutely sure? Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up. No, Marianne!
Is this smack talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing it?
Is this smack? Oh, sorry. I'm so used to reading it. Oh,
Private
Marianne,
conversation here,
no!
lady.
Marianne, no.
Maria, don't do it.
There's only amusement on Jay's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes. She's clean. And she might be able to help you with your predicament.
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
Holmes.
That's really good.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5 feet 11. Can't miss me. I'm like Shorty over here.
My God, Marianne!
Damn!
What's the
Oh.
mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove.
Oh my god.
Maybe
Wow.
a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
Marianne's pulling from Bayonetta's book over here. If you need to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mom.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. Oh, the trick
dare
is
you.
batshit insane.
Ah.
All of us short people are like, "Wah!"
Oh my God, Marianne!
But when he shakes me off, I plop into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of you. But you're still standing after all that, are you? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow.
He's
I'm a bit
Irish.
jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic,
Yeah,
too.
relatable.
Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that
doesn't.
right?
No, yeah. Thank you. I thought I was losing it for a second.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
I'm gonna have to
Or
leave
something.
this LP.
Can't really talk about it.
She called him a weenie!
I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But
Hmm.
anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marion.
Yeah, Marianne.
Marianne, you
That
fucking hot mess.
was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking.
Christ on a cracker.
But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just
Oh my
can't figure him
God.
out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his
Wow,
fat
Marianne.
ass straight up.
So it really is Buttons.
Shit. And I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes.
Peachy.
But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up, and I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut tight, just because. Eventually cracking one eye open, just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
She's about to let it all loose.
Oh.
Oh no.
Or how is she? Definitely the nicer of the two and sexiest to boot. Not a private detective then? Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his
Marianne,
pants on right?
your gay is showing.
Your gay is showing so hard.
Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Ah, here we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent for as long as I've been out now. Ugh, but I'm not. Fucking hell.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behavior...
Oh.
What?
Every time.
I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This will be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. It's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. If feelings had a taste, it'd be bitterer than the beer I'm full of. And gets me thinking. Though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something. As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling ya. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away, the best I can, and send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up chucking on your pretty hair.
God.
But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking right, you get me. And the missus didn't look too happy either. I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, No wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shoves a card in my hand. On it, his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket. Good hustle.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
We know, Marianne. We know.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
So, is...
This
Because I'm a little confused on timeline. Is this when Ashton shows up at Isabella's and has the sudden change of heart and she can't figure out why?
yeah, when he's visits Zach and Isabel. I think this might be just a little before that. Yeah.
Okay. The
I mean,
guys
the journal will tell us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait though. You know how that journal can be sometimes.
The guy is quick on his feet, already up and at him, as soon as the number leaves his lips. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pub-goers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile. That's all we get before he's gone. Just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
What a great bartender.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Swimming in cocktails.
I just gotta say, it's gotta be gross to have your face pressed against the bar counter. I have been to a couple of bars in my life. None of them have had bar counters that I'd be like, yeah, I'd sleep on this. Sober or drunk.
Ooh. The interior designer once again drank her frustrations away at the Crawl Bar. Albeit heavily intoxicated, she was seen chatting with Ashton Frey, a detective inspector working for the LPD, about Luke Wright. Before abruptly leaving, the detective left her his calling card.
Let's see. This was the night that Hannah first heard the voices from the cellar, wine cellar.
It would have to be
and
on the 27th then.
Yeah, that's when he got the photos.
So this is considerably before that.
Yeah,
Because when Zach shows up with the photos, Ashton's still like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. 29th. Alright, yeah, so this is 2 days
Yeah.
before.
So there's something else that happens to convince Ashton.
Yeah, because he mentioned Becca. He mentioned that Becca was
Yeah.
starting to believe in the things.
mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already, I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. So what happens when you're after 30, man? You're just doomed. But when you got to go, you got to go.
Speaking of being after 30, that's another true statement.
Ooh, we're back here.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
The safe word is letter. Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. Oh, we jumped substantially.
Yeah. So this is, I think, now. Oh, this is the day of the housewarming party.
Right, when Rochelle turns up and
Oh.
flips the tit. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Yup. Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the right mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candle at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body. 6 feet under.
Kick the can, pushing up daisies.
I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than the ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. And I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counsellor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. still, I took an answer to the best of my abilities. Without realising it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I thought was long gone. I'd like to believe my words will still be of help to Miss Wright. If I'm honest though, they are of some help to me, like some weight have been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
God, relatable.
Yo, right?
I don't know what it is about my friends, but they always show up like an hour early, and it's like, bruh, nothing's ready yet. If you're gonna show up this early, you're gonna help set up.
I've never had that issue. It was always the contrary for me.
I showed up early with the intent of helping to set up because I was like, I have nothing better to do.
I showed on time, and it turns out I was early.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead. I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft, she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlour, people hurry here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxburn. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. Oh.
What?
Fucking nerd.
Oh. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points of wisdom and 8 in charisma. I'm not lawful neutral. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy. A bit.
Just a bit.
But it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thoughts that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others. People who I would assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trapdoor. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission.
Hold up. So Marianne is headed into the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
after the party, Hannah is again drawn back to the cellar. I really hope that Marianne wasn't trapped in it. Because we may have just killed Marianne.
Welp. With that,
Let's find
with
out!
that idea, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Has taught me anything, you should generally have a fighter, a black mage, a white mage, and a thief, which would leave the red mage out. But I don't know if we want to leave the red mage out. Do we want to leave the red mage out?
I don't think so.
Thief is broken, by the way, is what Brad says. Oh god, now we have to name them. What do we name our thief? Or, not our thief, our, fighter.
Fighter. Who is the most combative of our group?
Brad. Have you seen his Twitter? Have you seen his motherfucking Twitter? Ah, excellent. I love it. Moon. Moon is easily the most diplomatic and healing of us. Even Shades is like, yeah, it's Advo. God, I'm so scared. Scarred when he gets in online fights.
You got witchy Sona.
Sure. I'm also the most foul-tempered of us all, so... So just like Leifu or something like that.
Let's see.
Moon screams, "Let me fight!" You'll fight. Don't worry, you'll fight. You'll fight with your kisses.
Aww. Alright, so...
And then we have a thief. Oh
Thief
shit, there's
or-
also a black belt. Thief, red major, black belt, apparently.
I think... I looked a little bit in studying it, and black belt seems like not a good choice. So red major
Alright.
or thief.
I'm honestly leaning towards thief just because that's a round party.
Okay. Thief is Shade since he's always trying to steal my waifus.
Dang, called out.